Panama Canal is also suffering from major disruption as many fewer ships are now getting through. The culprit this time, though, is climate change.
The Panama Canal has been a vital route for ships for over a century, saving time and money by connecting oceans. But could its reign be coming to an end? With new challenges on the horizon, like bigger ships, melting ice caps creating new Arctic routes, and environmental issues, the future of this historic canal is uncertain. Could new shipping lanes steal its spotlight? What will happen if climate change causes more frequent droughts in Panama? And how might advances in technology reshape the way we move goods across the globe? Well, to know all about this, you have to stay tuned until the end. The Panama Canal has long been one of the most important shipping lanes in the world, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and saving ships the time and effort of traveling around the southern tip of South America. However, new challenges and competition are threatening its dominance. With global shipping evolving rapidly, the Panama Canal is facing increasing pressure from competitors, environmental concerns, and technological advancements. Let's explore why some experts believe that these factors could kill the Panama Canal as we know it. This canal, which opened in 1914, was celebrated as one of the greatest engineering feats of its time. Spanning 50 miles across the Isthmus of Panama, it drastically reduced the travel time for ships moving between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Before its construction, vessels had to take the long and dangerous route around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America, which added thousands of miles to the trip. The canal changed all that, making global shipping faster and more efficient. The canal's system of locks is one of its most impressive features. These locks raise ships 85 feet above sea level so that they can cross Gatun Lake, and then they lower them back down to sea level on the other side. This process allows vessels of all sizes to navigate through the canal, a critical connection for world trade. Today, more than 12,000 ships pass through the Panama Canal each year, moving about 5% of the world's total cargo. This includes everything from consumer goods to raw materials, highlighting its importance to global commerce. However, despite its long history of success, the Panama Canal is facing significant challenges. Climate change, particularly the shifting patterns of rainfall, has strained the canal's water resources. The canal relies on fresh water to operate its locks, and with less rain filling its reservoirs, there are concerns about maintaining efficient operations. Moreover, the canal is feeling the pressure of modern shipping demands. Ships have been getting larger, and though the canal was expanded in 2016 to handle bigger vessels, there are still limits to what it can accommodate. As the canal moves forward into its second century, it continues to play a crucial role in international trade. However, with growing environmental concerns and evolving shipping trends, it faces new challenges that require innovative solutions to maintain its relevance in the global market. One of the most significant threats to the Panama Canal comes from potential competitors. Among these is the Nicaragua Canal project. Nicaragua, in partnership with Chinese investors, proposed building a canal that would be wider and deeper than the Panama Canal. While the project has faced delays due to environmental concerns and financing issues, if completed, it could provide a direct challenge to Panama by accommodating larger ships and reducing transit time further. Meanwhile, the melting ice caps in the Arctic are opening up another potential shipping route, the Northern Sea route. This route offers a more direct path between Europe and Asia, cutting thousands of miles off the journey compared to the Panama Canal. Russia has heavily promoted this route, which, while still limited by ice and weather conditions, could become more viable as climate change accelerates. Ships traveling through the Northern Sea route save up to 20 days compared to the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is a marvel, but it also has its limitations. One of its most pressing issues is its reliance on fresh water from the surrounding lakes to operate its locks. Each time a ship passes through, around 52 million gallons of water are released into the ocean. This system works well under normal weather conditions, but in recent years, droughts have significantly impacted water levels in the canal's lakes. Panama has experienced some of its worst droughts on record, leading to a reduction in the amount of water available for the canal's operations. In 2019, the canal imposed restrictions on the maximum depth ships could reach, reducing their cargo loads and making the journey less efficient. Some experts believe that as climate change continues to affect rainfall patterns, these droughts will become more frequent and severe, further limiting the canal's capacity. In addition to physical and climatic challenges, the Panama Canal also faces scrutiny over environmental issues. The canal's operations have a significant environmental impact, particularly when it comes to freshwater consumption. Every ship passing through consumes millions of gallons of fresh water, which is then lost to the ocean. In a world increasingly focused on sustainability, the canal's water usage could become a bigger problem, especially during droughts. Furthermore, the global trade landscape is shifting. In recent years, we've seen changes in trade routes due to political tensions, new trade agreements, and the growing trend towards nearshoring, bridging production closer to consumer markets. For example, the U.S.-China trade war has prompted companies to reconsider their supply chains, with some opting to relocate manufacturing to other countries, such as Mexico or other Latin American nations. As a result, there may be less reliance on long shipping routes that pass through the Panama Canal, reducing its relevance in global trade. In 2016, the Panama Canal went through a major upgrade called the Panama Canal Expansion Project, often referred to as the third set of locks. This project, which cost $5.25 billion, was designed to help the canal handle much larger ships. These bigger ships, known as the New Panamax or Neo-Panamax vessels, can carry more than double the cargo of the older Panamax vessels. Before the expansion, the canal could only accommodate ships carrying up to 5,000 containers. After the upgrade, it can now handle ships that carry up to 14,000 containers. This was a huge boost, as it increased the canal's overall capacity by 15%. While this expansion allowed for larger ships and more cargo, it also created some new challenges. One of the biggest problems is that larger ships need more fresh water for each transit. The canal uses massive amounts of fresh water to fill its locks, and with these bigger vessels, even more is required. This has worsened the water shortages that the canal regularly faces. Panama, which relies heavily on rainfall to fill its reservoirs, has been experiencing drier seasons due to climate change, making it even harder to meet the water needs for the canal's operations. In addition to the water issue, the expansion didn't fully account for other global changes in shipping. For instance, other canals like the Suez Canal have also been upgraded and can now handle even larger ships than those allowed through the expanded Panama Canal. The Suez Canal in particular has become a strong competitor since it can now accommodate vessels that are too large for the Panama Canal, pushing shipping companies to consider alternate routes. While the Panama Canal's expansion was an impressive feat, the global shipping industry has been moving quickly. Ships keep getting bigger, and other countries are improving their shipping lanes to attract more traffic. At the same time, climate change is impacting the Panama Canal's ability to operate smoothly. The increased demand for fresh water to move these larger vessels through the locks is an ongoing issue, especially when the water levels drop due to less rainfall. Though the Panama Canal continues to be a vital route for global trade, it's facing new competition and environmental challenges that it must continue to address in the years to come. Another factor working against the Panama Canal is the size of modern ships. The shipping industry has been moving towards increasingly larger vessels to maximize efficiency and reduce costs. The largest of these ships, known as ultra-large container vessels or ULCVs, can carry up to 24,000 20-foot equivalent units, TEUs, of cargo, far more than the Panama Canal can currently handle even after its expansion. These ULCVs are too large to pass through the canal, forcing them to use other routes, such as the Suez Canal or Cape Horn. As the global demand for shipping increases, more companies are opting to build these larger vessels, further diminishing the canal's role in international trade. According to industry estimates, approximately 10% of global shipping now involves vessels too large for the Panama Canal. Technological advancements are also poised to disrupt the shipping industry and, by extension, the Panama Canal's relevance. The rise of autonomous ships, which require fewer crew members and can operate more efficiently, could lead to new shipping routes that bypass traditional choke points like the canal. Autonomous vessels can take longer, less direct routes without needing to consider crew time or wages, potentially reducing the need for shortcuts like the Panama Canal. Additionally, the shift towards renewable energy in the shipping industry may favor other routes. Ships powered by renewable energy, such as wind or solar, might prefer longer but more energy-efficient routes over the quick transit provided by the canal. The Panama Canal's challenges are not just technical or environmental, they're also deeply political and controversial. One of the most significant controversies surrounding the canal is its ownership and control. In 1999, control of the canal was handed over from the United States to Panama, a move that was met with both praise and skepticism. Some critics argue that Panama lacks the resources and expertise to manage the canal effectively in the face of growing challenges. Another controversy involves the canal's expansion. The project, which was supposed to secure the canal's future, faced numerous delays and cost overruns. Additionally, it's been criticized for failing to adequately address the environmental concerns that plague the canal, particularly its reliance on fresh water. The Nicaragua Canal project also sparked controversy, particularly over its potential environmental and social impacts. The proposed canal would cut through protected areas and displace indigenous communities, leading to protests and legal challenges. While the project is stalled, it remains a potential competitor to the Panama Canal. Meanwhile, the Arctic shipping route has raised concerns about the environmental impact of increased shipping in this fragile ecosystem. As the ice melts, countries like Russia and China are eager to capitalize on the shorter route, but environmental groups warn that the increased traffic could have devastating effects on the Arctic's wildlife and ecosystems. The canal generates approximately $2 billion in toll revenue annually, accounting for around 6% of Panama's GDP, and more than 10,000 people are employed directly by the canal, and many more jobs are supported by the broader logistics and shipping industries that rely on the canal. So what are your views on this? Do let us know in the comments section below, and for more such amazing videos, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.